after Renana Ben and all the members of HomeNet International, I would say my brothers and sisters, it's an honor for us, for the two of us to sit here and to tell our stories. And our stories are based on realities, the truth, the struggles, and the strategies we used for all of us to be here today. Well, I'll start from, of course, I had worked for almost 3 decades, when I joined UNIFEM as the regional director. But my journey with HomeNet started by getting a call from Ila Ben. I got a call from Ila Ben in 1995, and she was saying, Chandni, now we need the UN to help us take home-based workers to Geneva to really lobby and do advocacy for home-based workers for the ILO Convention. And that's how I got involved. So this is my journey with HomeNet started from 1995. And in 1996, now when that started, what happened was there were many governments who were antagonistic towards the ILO Convention. And we had identified 15 of them in Asia Pacific, not only in South Asia. And those 15 governments, it wasn't easy for us to get the 15 governments. So my colleague, my counterpart in Bangkok, Lauren Connor, and I got together, of course, with Ila Ben and Nana Ben. They were the ones to identify which governments to invite. So we invited them. And we were in this Princess Hotel. And the 15 governments were there. And the ministers, very powerful labor ministers were there. And they would always talk about entrepreneurs. So we said we have to find a way to define, because we didn't have a firm definition of home-based workers. So it was in a big conference room like this. So in a corner, we had to do a simulation exercise. Our sisters from HomeNet Southeast Asia, identified a shoemaker, a home-based worker, she was there, and she had all her pots and pans, her baby, and her, all the equipments to make the shoe. And she was sitting there breastfeeding the child, cooking, and also making shoes. And when the ministers would drift away, and it was Ila Ben who walked us through the convention, one after another, all the chapters. And while doing that, the ministers was discussed and say, entrepreneurs. We say, no, excuse us, Your Excellencies. We are talking about these people, the home-based workers. And I wish they were all here today to see you, as a whole. So that is how, we had the ILO Convention lobbied for, And out of the 15 ministers, 2 abstained and 13 voted for. So that was a big success for all of us. After that, I want to say this, it was a WIGO meeting in Boston, and I have been one of the founder members of WIGO. And I was sitting with Renana Ben, we were having coffee, and then we said we have to do something in South Asia itself. I said, I can talk about my region, but my boss also has to understand. So we invited Kesangji from New York to come to Boston and to listen to our talk. And that's how the UNIFEM Seva journey of home-based work, HomeNet South Asia started. And we were there, we strategized, and we said we need to, not just us, we have to get the key players together. And that's how the Kathmandu, the meeting in Kathmandu was designed. And while designing it, it was important for all key stakeholders to be there, not just us talking, So we invited the SAARC Secretary General. He was there not only in the inauguration, he was there even in the drafting committee, he would come and sit. And we had all 7 national governments. These were, as I said, powerful secretaries from the Ministry of Labor. The directors from SAARC were there. Ila Ben herself was with us throughout. So was Renana Ben. So the Vigo team, the Seva Vigo team and UNIFEM, we had researchers, gender advocates, and Marty Chen was with us, so was Marilyn Carr, and Ratna Sudarshan. Researchers were with us. Ratna Sudarshan, Shalini Sinha, and Jeevan Unni were also with us, and which resulted in the vision document. Every now and then, whenever we talk about the movement, we talk about Kathmandu Declaration. It was born there. And then, while talking about history, we supported, UNIFEM supported the whole movement in HomeNet South Asia for 7 years. And in the end, it was topsy-turvy. Then HomeNet South Asia got funds from FNB, and for 2 years, they supported UNIFEM to support HomeNet South Asia. So that way, it was double-folded. So our journey together was 9 years before I retired from HomeNet South Asia. And the other pictorial event, like they say flagship, the key event I want to talk about is the 2007, when HomeNet South Asia was launched. So we were planning, strategizing, we talked so many times. And at another level, we said we have to get a key figure. Either the head of state or the head of government should be there to endorse and say, this is a movement, we endorse it, kind of. And we got, the best person in South Asia, Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister of India. And generally, yes, yeah. And generally in Delhi, when big events are, planned, it happens in Bigyan Bhavan. But I insisted, Firoza ji is here, and I wish Manali Bahan was also here. The two of them who worked together to get 300 home-based workers from South Asia. We said we want to showcase them. We want the Prime Minister to see them, understand what their agony was, what their needs were. And the Prime Minister did listen. He did listen, and he promised that he would take the issue of home-based workers to the SAARC summit. He did that. He kept his promise as a gentleman. He kept it, and that is how the SAARC development's first funding was given, and the sabhas were born all over South Asia. And I think we need a drum for that, endorsement in South Asia. And, like Renana Ben touched on everything, but a little bit about HomeNet South Asia. What did they do? They did extraordinary work. First, it was important to find out where were the home-based workers. The mappings were done. Then the organizing part was done, which was not easy. And then also, the networking and regional solidarity. We had so many meetings in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and the peer learning sharing started from there. We started learning from each other, like the Pakistan policy was being built, so there was so much to learn, from each other. HomeNet South Asia also, of course you have heard about it, but HomeNet South Asia took the lead with Vigo in promoting the global network. You have heard it from Denanaban, but I want to endorse that in a big way. And that is why HomeNet International was born, and we are all here today. And here, while talking about HomeNet South Asia, while talking, is it okay? It was too loud. Yeah. Okay. While talking about HomeNet South Asia, I think it's very important that, to recognize our board members, board of trustees who are here today. So I would request when I introduce you, would you like to get up and say hi to everyone? Phunchuk Chodin from Bhutan. She's our board of trustees who has traveled just to be with us. And so has Dr. Kurat from Pakistan. She's here with us. Only Nitisha couldn't be here. And our HomeNet South Asia Strategic Advisor, Namrata Bali, is also with us. Namrata Ben, where are you? I don't see her. Yeah. she's with us. Now, it's wonderful. You know, we had that jatra this morning. So for us, the journey of Homeless South Asia is not less than that jatra. There were so many achievements that has happened. We were so overjoyed. But there would be so many frustrations that didn't happen, you know, that we were frustrated about. So that we have traveled together in thick and thin. So, and I would here want to say that seeing all of you here, it gives us immense, I know everyone is very happy, but it gives us another kind of a joy. You know, a joy that you want to weep and be happy about, that we are all together. You know, joy, happiness, to see this solidarity, you know, weaving togetherness. So I think it's a wonderful moment for all of us today. And here I also want to quote and put on record that we said that we are one, we are working together. But that recognition, we talk about the feeble voices, we talk about the visibility, our unsung heroes, as we call it. We want them to be recognized. So Renanaban and I talked and we said, we should get someone who should really come here and endorse the movement. So we had approached the president, His Right Honorable, the President of Nepal, to come and inaugurate, to be with us this morning. And he had agreed, and we were overjoyed. But unfortunately, his ill health, he had to be airlifted to India for his treatment, so he couldn't be here. But we have got the endorsement from the highest authority in Nepal, and I feel very happy to say that. So as Renana Ben said, we can go on, but Janvi has given us half an hour to speak, and I think we are within the time of that. So I wish you all the best. And you know, I wish you a very, very fruitful Congress. And I would want to endorse again what Renana Ben said. Let's stay together. These are golden moments, opportunities. There'll be 101 ways people want to break us. But let's talk to each other. Talk means listen and answer. Let's disagree to agree, but we should be together. That solidarity, unity, oneness, one voice is our mantra, as we say it. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.